Marjorie Greene has been incredibly busy in the limited amount of time that she's been a representative. She's managed to fit in getting kicked off of all of her committee assignments, as well as being banned from Twitter in just about a year. But despite that, she does have even more work ahead of her. She does have to run for re-election, which means she needs to ward off potential right-wing primary challenges. So you have to deliver for your base. And how do you do that? Well, it has nothing to do with legislation, obviously. You just attack the other side. And so that's what she's doing. Take a look at what she had to say recently about the pre-political history of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Where is that energy going to be created? Y'all, solar and wind. Don't you know? Come on, AOC's so much smarter than all of us. She was a bartender. You silly conservative Republicans, you probably have small businesses and things like that.
It has obviously been a big issue for the right, the whole comedy thing for a long time, but she is aggressively unfunny and unclever. Anyway, so the right-wing populists want you to not pay attention to what AOC has to say because she was just a bartender. Obviously, that's a comical thing. The idea that someone would trade their service, their work, for money so that they can live, ha ha ha. She's not elite enough. I don't know, it's weird because I was just told by Tucker Carlson this last week that she's actually a rich white woman. So she's both simultaneously too elite for us to have to pay attention to. Also, she was just a bartender, which is funny. That's like a working class thing. Let's all laugh at that. But perhaps even worse than the casual mockery of AOC, as a right winger, all you have to do is say solar and wind power and the crowd laughs. What's the joke, Jank? What is inherently funny about renewable energy?
Yeah, well, what's funny is that those jackasses have been manipulated by oil industry executives that make hundreds of millions of dollars into being their little puppets. So they're like, oh, the global elites are controlling everybody, including the Democrats. Oh, we're burning down the planet with oil when I could have a higher paying solar job. Oh, boo, solar, go oil, burn it down. Take my family with you, take my community, take my church. Yes, oh, you're making money and I'm getting rooked. Well, there's nothing the right wing loves more than getting rooked, right? They're like, oh, Donald Trump is the legendary con man. Oh, they love it. Like, oh, Donald, take my money, take my money. Oh, you're not even gonna use it for your legal defense. Who cares? Take it anyway. Oh, you want my wife? By the way, that actually happened in one of his rallies. A guy who was doing a Trump impersonation or whatever, and Trump says, I like your wife. Or maybe she liked the real deal better. And everyone's like, yeah, right?
I do not remember that.
Yeah, that actually happened. So here they're like, oh, the oil companies are screwing us, huh? Solar and wind might fix it and give me a higher paying job. Boo! Okay, by the way, coal industry is dying, very few jobs left in the country. It's only like 4% of the jobs in West Virginia, not in the country, in West Virginia, right? Solar jobs back in 2020, it's a higher number now, was 231,000 jobs across the country. And it pays way better, and so does wind, okay? So there's no reason in the world not to be in favor of that, except they love to punch themselves in the face. They're like, is this hurting the libs? I hope it hurts the libs, boom! And he's like, I got you, libs. Did you? You know, Yale just published a study. Just in 6 months of last year, you know how many people died because they didn't get a vaccination? Unnecessary deaths, not overall deaths, unnecessary deaths in just 6 months. 135,000 Americans. Because they wanted to own the libs, so they weren't gonna take the vaccine. 100, that's a massacre. It's a genocide.
That's like between 2 and 3 Vietnams.
Yeah, Srebrenica is considered a genocide by the United Nations. I think about 6,000 people died. 135,000 unnecessary deaths in just 6 months because they wanted to own the libs.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they love to mock us for supposedly like virtue signaling, but look at the lengths they will go to prove that they're part of the right group. Like if you say, hey, you know, there's a new study, it might be healthier to eat less meat. No, you can't tell me. No, I'm not telling you. And I'm not stopping you, you're not being banned. No, I'm just gonna stuff it in my mouth. And with the solar and the wind, I mean, not only is it, it's going to be the energy of the future. We can choose as a country to be a part of that or we can just allow countries like China to take over the whole thing. They're perfectly happy to do that. It would also free us up from some of the attachments to international sources of oil and those sorts of things. But beyond that, I get that they have been trained to not believe in climate change, to think that it's either not happening, or if it's happening, it's not our fault, or if it's happening, it's our fault. Now there's really nothing we can do about it. But do they not believe in pollution? Remember, climate change is like, that's the big killer that's coming. But the burning of fossil fuels is still really bad, even if climate change wasn't happening. Like, you want to be able to breathe. You don't want respiratory illnesses necessary.
No, John, don't say that. If you say that, conservatives will go and start inhaling tailpipes. I'm not kidding.
They'll just roll coal into their own faces.
Like if I wanted to damage the right-wing movement, I would tell people, you know what? Do not inhale from tailpipes. Don't do it. It's gonna. And if you're near a tailpipe of a car, especially if it's running, wear a mask. And they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna show Cenk wrong, we're gonna show AOC wrong, Bernie wrong, I'll show you. I swear to God they would do it. I swear to God, they did it already. They did it with COVID, okay? They're doing it right now with the planet. So look guys, 28% of the country, and it's a number that shows up in a lot of different polls, that's why I say it very specifically. And by the way, also true in almost all countries, 28% of the country is hopeless. Like they don't care about they don't speak the language we speak of, reason and logic and facts. They don't care. I mean, look at this. AOC's just a stupid bartender. She doesn't even own a company. She doesn't own a company. We hate her for being so lowly. Oh, she's just a rich ski bunny elitist. We hate her for being so rich and elitist. And oh yeah, right, I hate her. It's the same people.
Same people.
Same people, and they don't care at all. They don't care at all. They're just having fun inhaling tailpipes, okay? So you're never gonna convince those 28, but we can whittle them down to 28%. So yes, with your own family, don't get in their face. We've told you 1,000 times, plant seeds, ask them questions. Hey, is maybe a higher paying solar job better? Maybe. And have them go, no, higher pay is worse for me. I want lower pay, right? Maybe pollution not so good, and they're like, no, I love pollution, right? What? Okay, fine, but plant the seeds. But overall, in the battlefield of ideas, mock them until people are humiliated and like, well, I'm not a conservative. Nobody would be. I'm not that stupid. I'm not that stupid, right? By the way, does it work politically? Goddamn right it does. My whole life growing up, Republicans called liberals stupid. Oh, soft-hearted liberals, bunch of idiots, idiots, right? And nobody ever thought, oh, wait, that's offensive, don't say that, right? Because the right wing is allowed to say anything. They're allowed to be monsters, right? So now when we do it back to them, they're like, oh, you're offending the right wing. How could you call them deplorable? You're offending them. I don't care. They're dum-dums. Here, watch. Do not inhale the tailpipe smoke of your car. I bet you like dozens, maybe hundreds, on that alone will do it. Like literally, by the way, for God's sake, even if you're the worst right winger in the world, don't do it. Now I made it worse.
Jake, have you ever seen someone who went to one of the elite Ivy League schools suck off a tailpipe? You haven't, right?
No, I haven't.
They think they know better than us.
No, but John, I'm like,
oh, they abstain from the emissions. No, those are for us.
No, but I'm now
do it.
I'm quite serious that we've now started something and I want to reel it back in.
Come to me.
Okay.
Come to me. I want to be very clear because I'm worried I was not clear. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, guys, don't actually.
Don't do it.
Or if you're the right wing and you want to defy us, do it, but don't do it.
No,
don't, okay? Because yes, I actually believe that 28% really would do it despite us. I really believe it. That's why I'm worried. I'm worried that I started something.
And we're joking to make it ridiculous, but it is the same thing. If you have this knee-jerk need to be cool with pollution and to shove toxins into your body and all this to prove that you're, like some percentage of those people will die as a result of it. At the end of the day, does it matter exactly what the cause of death was? No. But it's all this in-group BS. The AOC's bad, Trump is good. I want to have a beer with Trump, who by the way would never have a beer with you. But if you were to have a beer with him, who would serve it? A bartender. Is that really such a bad thing?
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.